An emperor grew old. He had 3 sons, and he was very worried about whom to give the kingdom to. All 3 were capable and skilled. All 3 had equal qualities. Therefore, it became very difficult. One day he called the 3 sons and said that, "Whatever act you have done in the whole past year, the one act that is the greatest in the whole year, tell it to me." The eldest son said that the richest man of the village was going on a pilgrimage. He left crores worth of diamonds and jewels with me, without counting, without any accounts, without taking any signature, and said that when I returned from the pilgrimage, give them back to me. If I wanted, I could have taken them all, because there was no writing, no witness. Even if I had kept a few valuable diamonds, there would have been no difficulty, because that man had neither counted them nor kept any number. But I returned the whole bag exactly as it was. The father said, "You did well. But I ask you that if you had kept some, would you have felt regret, guilt, a sense of crime, or not?" That son said, "Certainly I would have." Then the father said, "There was no altruism in this at all. You only did this to avoid your own regret, your own pain. What altruism is there in this? If you had kept the diamonds, guilt would have hurt your mind, pricking like a thorn. To avoid that thorn, you return the diamonds. What you did is good, fine, but there is no altruism in it. You have only done a favor to yourself." The second son became a little worried, and he said that I was passing by the roadside, and in the lake at dusk, when there was no one there, a man began to drown. I could have continued on my way, ignoring it, but I immediately jumped in, put my life in danger, and brought that man out. The father said, "You did right, but if you had gone away and not saved him, would his death not have haunted you forever? You might have ignored it outwardly, but inside you had already heard his cry, his voice, 'Save me!' Would his ghost not have followed you forever? Out of that fear you jumped, put your life in danger. But there is no reason to fall into the illusion that you have done any altruism." The third son said that I was passing through a forest, and on the edge of a mountain cliff I saw a man sleeping, who, if he even turned once in his sleep, would be finished forever, because on the other side there was a deep gorge. I reached near that man, and when I saw who he was my known enemy. I could have quietly gone on my way, or if I had passed near him riding on my horse, then without doing anything, perhaps just because of my passing, he might have turned and fallen into the gorge. But I quietly slid on the ground and reached near him so that he might not fall due to my sound. And I also knew that the man is bad. Even after saving him, he would abuse me. I shook him gently and woke him up. And that man is going around the village speaking against me, because that man says, I had gone there to die. This man followed me there also. He does not let me live. He did not even let me die. The father said, "You are better than the 2, but this is not altruism either." Why? Because you are filled with pride that you have done something great. When you speak, the sparkle in your eyes increases. When you say it, your chest swells. And the act from which ego is created is no longer altruism. Through a very subtle path, you have filled your ego with it. You are thinking that you are very religious and altruistic. You are better than these 2. But for the owner of the kingdom, I will have to search for a 4th. When you do altruism, you cannot do it, because one who does not even know oneself, how will he do altruism? You may think that you are doing serving the poor, massaging the feet of a sick person in a hospital, but if you search carefully, you will find somewhere you are only feeding your ego. And if your ego is filled by service, then service is also exploitation. Before self-knowledge, no person can be altruistic, because without knowing oneself, such a great transformation cannot happen. The ego finds such paths. From the outside, it appears that you are doing altruism, but inside, it is you who stands there. And the more subtle the journey becomes, the more it goes out of grasp. Others cannot catch it. You also cannot catch it. Others are deceived, and you too wander in the deception created by yourself. We all have created our own labyrinths. We started all this arrangement to deceive others. We never thought that in our own created labyrinths, we ourselves would get lost. But we are lost. Remember the first thing. Apart from you, nothing is yours. As soon as this remembrance becomes intense that consciousness alone is the self, that consciousness alone am I, and all else is other, alien, of a different nature, then the first ray of revolution enters your life. Then a crack appears between you and society. Then a crack appears between you and your relationships.